but like I'm gonna ask you questions like, what is our relationship? And obviously, you know. Okay.
Complete strangers.
Okay, you ready?
I reckon so.
Hit the red button.
Ain't no red button here.
The middle red.
Ain't no middle red nothing here.
It's no telling what he's done to it.
I haven't done nothing.
Oh no, it's videoing. Okay, we'll just start. Okay. So, I'm here today with Mary Chester, and can you tell them what our relationship is?
This is my granddaughter.
Yes, this is my granny. My pawpaw is videoing, and these are pictures of me when I was little with them. And how old are you now?
I'm 84.
84. So how was it being a young woman in the 1930s?
Oh, it was wonderful.
Was it much better than today?
Well, you could get around a lot better than I do now, and I could do more things than I do now. But
how was the television and public? Like, was it better than it is now? Is it more flashy now, or?
Oh, I like the way things are now.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, I like you see a lot more different things than what you used to.
Tell me about the movie. About watching the movies, how much you would pay money.
Oh,
how
yes.
much it would cost.
When we first started, when we started going to the movies, we would pay 10 cents to go into the movies, and we'd get a bag of popcorn and a drink and see the movies with a quarter.
Wow. It's a lot different than it is now.
And now I couldn't even afford to go to the movies.
Yeah. Now it's about $20 for 2 people, at least. And you went to Bethel College. That was an all-girls school, right?
All-girls school.
How was that?
It was good. We had some boys that would come from out of town, that would come in daytime, but no boys lived there.
Mm-hmm. And, were women working out in the world, or was it mostly housework?
It was mostly housework. I mean, as soon as I got out of Bethel, well, I started working in a grocery store, selling groceries.
Yeah.
But everything then, is so much different from what it is now.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell me about it. Well, tell me about it being different.
Well, then, you wouldn't think we couldn't even have boys in the dormitory unless somebody was supervising you.
Mm-hmm.
And now anything goes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So women didn't work like as lawyers and police officers.
No, they didn't. Most of the time, mostly it was teachers and things like that. And some would go. Some of them would go on and just get ordinary jobs and all, just like I worked. I was checker in a grocery store, but women didn't do the things then like they do now.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, this is you and Pawpaw. How old are y'all in this picture?
Well, I was about 17, and
right when you got married.
He was 22. He was that was before we were
you got
married. He was in the Navy, and we I think maybe we were already engaged, but we weren't married at that time. And that was when I was at Bethel. At home. It was at home then. The picture was made at my home, but I was in school at that time.
Was it common to get married at 17, 18?
Oh, a lot of more people got married early then,
and stayed married. I'm sure.
And my grandmother, my daddy's mother, got married and had her first baby when she was 16 years old.
Wow.
And it just and
it's not like that. Well, it is kind of getting away.
But I was 18 when we married.
And when did you have Uncle Michael?
Michael was 2 years afterwards. So I was 20 when he was born. And then we have the other two they came about 3 years apart.
Spaced out. And y'all been married for how long, you said?
In 3 days, it'll be 66 years.
66 years.
66
Wow.
years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, our anniversary's coming up. And that's a long, long time.
It's a very long time. We have a picture of that too. Of
That was
50th.
that was the wedding up there.
Oh, let me get it. I'll get it. Let's see.
And that one over yonder is the 50th.
The 50th anniversary.
Are you doing like you're supposed to?
I reckon.
This is then when they got married. What day did y'all? December
10th. 10th.
Oh, 10th in 1929.
1929.
1947.
Oh, what about that?
You're born in 29.
I done missed it. Yeah, I done missed it altogether. Oh, yeah, I'm sort of rattled. Yeah, that was back when I was 18.
And he was 22?
3.
23.
And he had just gotten out of the Navy.
So you got married when you were 23 too?
Uh-huh.
Me too. I got married when I was 23.
He had just gotten out of the Navy. And I had just gotten out of Bethel.
So you already had, no, you hadn't had kids. You had kids a couple years after. And then you had kids a couple years after.
Uh-huh.
He had already gotten out of the Navy?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He'd already gotten out of the Navy. He was a farmer.
Well, let's see. I'll get a picture of the 50th year anniversary.
That's what?
That was when I was...
When we was...
I forget how old I was. I was probably 9.
Oh, 10. That went over there at their house.
Uh-huh.
When was that? I don't...
See, I've been married for 60...
50 years from 47.
2000s...
19 and
97?
97.
1997. 50 years.
50 years. That's a long time.
Long time.
And now it's almost 60 years.
Yeah.
It's almost 70
I mean,
years.
70 years. I'm going backwards. You're going to have a mess.
No. Okay, so what else about being a woman who was an influential woman in your life?
Her mama.
My mama. My mother and me got along real well. And we, I don't know, that's about the only one that ever did anything. And my grandmother. My mother and my grandmother, we all lived close together. And that made, I stayed at my grandmother's house a lot.
Like me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
How old were you when she passed away?
when she,
Your grandmother.
I was about 15.
Okay.
I guess I was, I don't know how long it had been, but I was about 15 when my grandmother died.
And I never met your mother.
I think I was that old. I'm not sure. It's about that time. I can remember, going to the funeral and everything. And my grandfather then died. I mean, he lived on quite a while after my grandma died. But she worked awfully hard. And in those days, you didn't go to the doctors.
Yeah. What did she have that happened?
They never did really know. It was just people in those days would think it was old age, but she wasn't really all that old. But now, when you die, you have to have something that you died from.
A reason.
And you didn't. And I think she had kidney problems and things like that didn't. But she was always kind of weak. But she was a grandmother. I loved my grandma, and well, I did my grandfather too, but not like I mean I was with her when I was him.
What did your mother do? Was she a stay-at-home?
She was a teacher for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But she didn't, wasn't long. And she most of the time just stayed home. They were farmers, so she worked on the farm and kept everything going. But she just about everybody in the family has been teachers at some time. My sister taught school. I taught school.
Well, I guess I fell off the bandwagon.
I taught school 1 year, and then I got married and started working at the grocery store, at Kroger's grocery store, as a checker.
My mama taught too.
Well, I guess I'm with Aunt Lori and all them as the nurse. Aunt
You're
Lori
the
and
nurse, and now
Aunt June.
this generation are nurses.
That's interesting.
They were teachers and nurses.
Yep. Which are pretty similar, really.
They're good things to do. It's good. I mean, good for the person and for the people that you're teaching too. You're not. It's not anything. I mean, it's sort of goes out in the world. It's not just one person and all. You have to help with everybody. I didn't have I had just a one-room school, and I had about 20. Not any more than 20 people. I had one little boy that was in the first grade.
Well, all different grades?
And the rest of them went on up to the 7th grade. I didn't have any 8th graders.
So they had school all together.
All together.
Wow.
I had different grades, to teach. And I started from first grade, to about the 7th grade, but some of them in between there I didn't have. Maybe I'd have 2 or 3 in one with one grade. And
Teachers and nurses were better than bitches and witches.
You're right.
I enjoyed teaching, but then after I had been, I had taught school for 1 year and all. I'd been out of school. And already married before I started teaching school, and then before time to go back to school, I found out I was pregnant, so I didn't go back to school. I just stayed home until the kids got big enough for me to go back to work.
That was common then. A lot of stay-at-home moms. It's more common now too than it has.
Yeah, you just didn't go off and leave the babies and all, in just a few months. You stayed with them as long as you could. And I started. I started doing other things, besides that, but I could do at home, babysit, and I had ironed for people and everything that I, that needed that I could do and like to do. I enjoy ironing. That's unusual.
Yeah, that is unusual. Very unusual.
But the people that the people that I babysat for needed somebody to do other things, so I do just whatever they wanted me to do.
Like a nanny. And what about not having your driver's license? Has that ever been difficult?
Well, I started. A friend of mine, when we were going to high school, we would drive down to the road, and she would drive. She'd drive down, and when we'd come back in the afternoon, sometimes she'd have me drive home, and we were on country road, and we did that a few times, and then we just kind of stopped it, and then when I got out of school then and got married, William was going to help me learn to drive, and he thought I should go 80 miles an hour. So I just gave up, and I never did go back to driving, and I haven't ever done it since.
You've always had him, and
Huh?
help
Yeah,
from
he's
other
always texting me. Or somebody was always available, but he does the driving now. It just made me so nervous and all. I just didn't. I just wasn't cut out to drive. I don't think anything like that makes me real nervous.
She wasn't in the car when I was doing 122 though.
I don't.
don't like to go fast.
He would want me to go faster than what I was doing, and it would make me nervous. So I just never did really. And I should have. But I've made it all right.
Yeah, you have. Well, I guess we'll take a break and then come back.
What do you do with this?
We send it to 16 minutes.